about my first day at the University of Virginia. It was hot and sunny, as you'd expect from August, but I remember the weather in particular because I was so worried about arriving in my first class all sweaty and bedraggled. And so I was sticking to the shade, and it's a really green, wonderful campus. I'm sticking to the shade, and I make my way to the engineering building, and I find my classroom, which is in the new part of this maze that is the engineering building. And so it lacks the grandeur, the high ceilings, and the grandness of the old part of the building, but it has the distinct advantage of having actual chairs instead of swivel seats that are attached to the tables. So that was a good thing. But instead of walking into the classroom and taking one of those seats, I walked to the front of the room and put down my books. Because for the first time in my academic life, I was the professor. Now, I'd given myself lots of time, again, not wanting to get all sweaty. So I had minutes to stand there and wait for it to be time to start class. I feigned interest in my notes, and the whole time I'm thinking, oh my God, I hope they like me. I've got butterflies in my stomach. Am I going to fit in? These are seniors. They've been here 3 years. They know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I got here 3 days ago. So finally, it's time to start the class. And I do the thing that I think that professors are supposed to do, which is talk about the syllabus. And then we do the corny icebreaker thing. The problem, of course, is that I didn't just embrace the corniness of the icebreaker, right? Those are just inherently corny. You might as well own it. No, I decided that it should serve a pedagogical purpose, and so I asked students to tell us their name and their major and also what they expected to learn in the class. Well, it became very obvious very quickly that they hadn't given it a thought. It was a required class, and they were seniors, and whatever. But they tried, and so somebody had told them somewhere along the line that this was a class where they would write their senior thesis. So I got all kinds of things about how they wanted to learn to write better. And one guy, he was the moneyed frat boy type in cargo shorts and deck shoes. And he says that he even gets his pet peeves in. He wants to make sure he avoids the things that he hears all the time, like people using made-up words like synergy and turning words into verbs that shouldn't be verbs. All right, fine. So we get through this rather excruciating exercise, and I tell them, use that as a jumping off point to tell them what they're really going to learn in this class. And what they're really going to learn in this class, yeah, we'll talk about your thesis, but actually we're going to learn about technology in society, and we will use our various our projects to synergize so that we can talk about this topic more generally. Now, I said this with a pointed look at the frat boy, and I got a laugh out of the class, an actual, honest to God, not a feel sorry for me laugh, but like, oh, hey, she's funny laugh. And I thought, oh, great, it's all going to be okay. They're going to like me. Well, of course not. They didn't. The next 2 or 3 classes, it became obvious that they were not having any of it. All this stuff I had planned, no, they just wanted to write their thesis. Leave us alone already, lady. And I could feel them slipping away. And by week 3, I had no idea what to do to have them like me or to fit in. But I did know that their first assignment was terrible. I asked them to write a page about the things that they read so that they would, show that they had thought about it and read it, and what they showed was that their eyeballs had come somewhere near the reading, and that they were good at having opinions about things they knew nothing about. So I walked into class and I told them, this wouldn't do. And they looked crestfallen. To hear me say their assignments weren't good. And in that moment I realized they were trying to please me. And that by being on that side of the desk, it wasn't like I had to fit in. I already had a place there. And so that's when I finally realized that I wasn't the new kid. I was the new professor. And what I needed to be doing was not fitting in, but figuring out how to occupy my new role in a way that was wise and effective. Thanks.